Wow, so we are here, guys. As an evangelist, I do not do you a good service if I do not talk to you about economic issues because I'm an end time preacher. And we are in a really big transition with our economic system and how we exchange money. As we head into the rise of the beast system, unfortunately, things are changing whether we want it to or not. And we as Christians can learn to be the head and not the tail. I have constantly been talking about this new monetary system throughout my preachings, probably through at least 7 years now, and pushing the people or getting the people warmed up to this digital asset blockchain type of life that we're going to be entering. And while these things are confusing to some and most don't understand it, especially the ones that are really involved, maybe like the baby boomers who are involved in the 401ks and they're involved in the old institutions, guys, it won't be there anymore. And more than anything, the younger generation is starting to understand because, for instance, like my daughter and her friends, and you guys know this, if you have teenage kids, they don't have cash. They don't use cash. They barely sometimes even use their debit cards. Most of the time it's their Apple Pay phones or they're Venmoing and Cash Apping each other and buying things online, right? So this is going digital. At some point, it'll be an entire digital system. But just like any movement into a new era in time, for instance, remember when the stories, we weren't there, obviously I wasn't alive, maybe some of you were, but the gold rush, right? There was an entire generation that got wind of certain areas that had shown itself to be really rich in gold. And the people that went after it became overnight millionaires, right? And it ushered in a gold rush. From that point, because new people had money, new inventions, new businesses, new things were able to be birthed because people had capital, money to start doing things that were in their spirit. Okay, the third industrial revolution, the economy changes. And for the people that are connected to the Spirit of the Lord, who hear the Lord tell them, go this route, invest in this, do this, be prepared for this, they end up becoming the lenders and not the borrowers. Billionaires and multimillionaires that are able to buy up properties and buy up different buildings for the work of the kingdom. There are many Josephs and there just are many, regular people, and Josephs are builders. Josephs see what's coming ahead and they prepare. Josephs are business people. They know how to exchange and they know how to take care of, in a fair way, commerce with people with all kind of levels of economic status. And, and that's okay if you're not a Joseph, if you're not a builder, if you're not comfortable with that, and that's fine. The Lord everyone has a different calling, everybody has a different anointing. As we head into what is ahead, it's going to be very, very important that you know this system and you know it well. The whole point of getting into some of these assets that the Lord has positioned some of his people in, like WIKI Cat, DIGIMON Rabbit, Luna Classic. These sound like silly names, but these are opportunities that the Lord has given for people to walk through the doors and open the doors so floodgates of finances are able to come to his people. A wealth transfer from the wicked to the righteous. Just like you saw an overnight wealth transfer in Genesis in the Old Testament, or the Exodus, back in the Old Testament when the Israelites left Egypt into the desert. They left with Egypt's wealth. They left with the gold, with the silver. All of the Egyptians were giving them their wealth to get out. All right? We've seen the Lord do it before. Now we see that wealth built the temple. I had a sheet, I have it somewhere here in my office, where they calculated the amount of ounces of gold, ounces of silver, expensive fabrics and furs that it took to build the tabernacle with all of the furniture. And it was over, right at almost $1 billion that was donated from the Israelites because they had been given all the wealth from the Egyptians. Now remember, there was at least 2 million Israelites that left Egypt to come out into the desert and walk through the Red Sea. And so each of them had, bundles and bundles of wealth that the Egyptians have given them. And so anyway, the Lord used that to bless them, yes, but he also used it to build his tabernacle, his kingdom here on earth. So there are people that the Lord is going to steward with great wealth because he knows that he can trust them to do what he tells them to do with the wealth. He blessed them, but they had so much excess that not only were they able to build the tabernacle with the gold and the tabernacle with the furniture was just beaten gold. We know that the menorah was one piece of gold beaten. So just beautiful pieces and very expensive. But they also had leftovers. So the Lord gives, he's a good God, and he gives abundantly. WIKI, don't sell it. If you are going to invest in WIKI, Luna Classic for right now. If you can, Digimon Rabbit. These two are, Digimon Rabbit and WIKI, are not on public exchanges. You're going to have a little bit more experience to be able to do that. You can YouTube, and there's plenty of people out there that will show you how to do that. I did put something in my community chat, a tutorial, not from me, but he does very well explaining how to buy those assets. And I also have a private member community video that I explain price points for Luna Classic because it's going to go much higher than it is now. These are not hold on forever coins. These are just coins to be able to gain capital, to shove them into other assets like XRP, Stellar, things that the world economy, global economy will be using whether you like it or not. That's just the bottom line. The Lord is giving his people a heads up so that we can get ahead in the game, so that we will always have more than enough to do what it is that we need to do before his return. WIKI, don't sell it. Digimon Rabbit, if you funnel into that, hold on to it until you get the right amount on each of those that you feel like you need. Luna Classic, use that money as seed money to be able to shove into XRP and other assets that are going to be super, super, super valuable. They're going to do well. And other things, so stay tuned. So as I talk about the return of the Lord, as I talk about end time things, these issues come up. Economics comes up, finances come up, political things come up. It's all in the Word. The Lord talks about money 2,000 times, over 2,000 times. I think it's 2,800 times he talks about money in the Old and the New Testament. He also talked about his return, second coming, more than he talked about his first coming. He also talked about hell more than he talked about heaven because he doesn't want any of you to go there. He doesn't want any of you to suffer. And that's why us evangelists and people out here that are preaching the gospel are saying, yes, the gospel, we're preaching it. But we also can't preach you the good news and also not tell you because we've seen it, we've seen what's ahead, and we're seeing how to prepare. The Lord has given his people strategy on how to prepare for this beast system that's rising, because it's going to be like no time that's ever happened on earth. With AI rising, digital assets rising, all of the computer tech stuff rising, the old system will pass away. And if you're not ready for the new system because you're still stuck in the old, you're going to have a difficult time. Be blessed, invest in these, find the tutorials to get it done, and wait. Follow me, subscribe, because I will always update. Or be a member, and you'll get more details. Bye, guys.